Hello, Hare Krishna. My name is Radhika. This is the third video in the series that I'm doing that I'm dedicating to my spiritual father, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. First, I would like to offer my most respectful prayers and obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. I'll be reciting this in the beautiful Sanskrit language. Namo Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prasaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyata Desacharine. The translation is as follows. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter from His lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Dev and delivering the Western countries, which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Srila Prabhupada also states in the beautiful scriptures that he has left us that this material world may seem very nice, but actually there is danger at every step. And the Sanskrit wording for this is padam padam yad vipadam. And it's true, we can see historically, as well as what is happening today, very much that this is the truth, whether it's in the area of politics, of medical uncertainties, of stories of those who are losing their health, losing their businesses, and most tragically, losing their loved ones. There is certainly danger at every step. As I have been coming to understand more and more what is happening and just the great effect of what is going on, it has really come to my mind and my heart of asking, what is the solution to this madness that we're going through right now? And so many are asking right now, what is the solution to this modern day madness? The insidiousness of evil is ever apparent to those who are willing to look behind the veil of the mainstream narrative. And certainly that has been a big part of my own healing process as well. So I realized just within the last few weeks that my healing is paralleling what's happening in the world today. And it kind of came as a real revelation to me to start seeing the, the similarities between what I'm going through individually and what is happening on a larger scale. And in my prayers to be of use to the Lord and to serve, I began understanding that the spiritual solution that I'm applying to my healing is one that can also be applied to your lives individually and collectively. And so this is the main reason that I'm doing this video today, is to share how these spiritual solutions have been not only curing me and affecting positively the people in my life and the different things that are happening, but how also it can be applied to your particular life to bring a solution to your suffering right now and to the suffering of the world at large. I thought it would be beneficial to share some of the traumas that I have been through. I talked a little bit about in my first video some of the abuse that I endured. In addition to that, as I stated before, I went through a lot of very, very difficult child abuse within the private school that I grew up in. I also experienced what it was like as a child to go through 2 divorces within my immediate family, seeing my parents go through that and the different effects of that, separation and the divorce. I had a close family member commit suicide. I lost a grandparent to a tragic accident. And then when I was in my early 20s, I had a child, and he passed away when he was 4 months old. So There were some other things that happened, but these were the main events up until my early to mid 20s, at which time I turned towards God in a serious way, the next level of coming back to my spiritual life. And there were subsequent things that have happened and different challenges that I endured in the last couple of decades from then. But I don't feel that I'm going to share those at the moment. But I did want you to hear some of the things that I have been through, just so you understand that this healing process that I'm going through is very real. And the effects of what I went through, especially the child abuse, because it was so traumatic, is something that I'm having to work through with great determination on a daily basis. I think I shared a little bit also about how I, several years back, because of my mentality and my mode of just push, that if we keep pushing through the obstacles in our life and doing the best that we can, that will be enough basically to get a good result. And about 3 years ago, my body just collapsed, and it became apparent that that wasn't the way to go, that pushing through was just kind of a naive way of thinking that that's how I could deal with things. And that in fact, the body has kind of a limit to how much trauma and abuse it can experience and what it does. And my functionality became so impaired that my relationships suffered greatly. I gave up on a very deep level, and my children didn't know what to make of me. And I lost a lot of good years with them. A lot of very important years, very important birthdays, very important graduations and milestones. And it's that time is something that I can never get back. And as much as I did not mean to hurt anybody because of how the trauma and the abuse had affected me on all levels, it was just a process that I had to go through to accept that that was the case, and that I am not made of infallible cells, and that I had to come up with a very strong healing solution to bring me back out of this dark hole that all the trauma and the abuse had got me into. So I did a lot of counseling. I did a lot of different other healing techniques. I talked a little bit about that, and they were all helping me in a lot of ways. And I was getting some results, but not quickly enough, not to the level that I wanted or needed. And subsequently, especially my children, were suffering from a lack of having their mother around. And that is the camel that broke my back, so to speak. And seeing that, and in realizing that there was no material solution that was going to ultimately pull me out of this place that I ended up in because of all the trauma and the abuse that I went through, and just getting used to. That was a way of life where I basically just gave my power away and didn't stand up for what I could have stood up for in order to not allow for that to happen. So similarly, I see that the world right now is in a critical point where we have to decide individually and as a collective if we are going to allow our individual selves, our families, our societies, our nations, our world to just collapse, because there's only so much that we can take. There's only so much that this world can take before that could happen. And the point of no return is, it could be there, but it doesn't have to be. And just in my life, as I'm coming back and I am being cured by the presence of God, by the presence of Krishna in my life, by following the instructions of his pure representative, Srila Prabhupada, and his true followers. Similarly, the solution that I am applying every day in my life can be applied in yours. So the greatest solution is worshiping God, spending time with him. And in this age, God has so magnanimously, magnificently, and benevolently appeared in his Maha Mantra, in the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, in these three words, Hare, Krishna, and Rama, which are the names for Lord Krishna. He has come to benedict us with his presence. He is non-different than his name. And he says that he has invested all of his energies into the names of God, and specifically into this Maha Mantra. It is the mantra for deliverance in this age. Again, there's another beautiful Sanskrit verse that says, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. So in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only deliverance for all of us is chanting the holy names of the Lord. And this is the only way, the only way, the only way. And we can understand when something is stressed 3 times that there is great importance to this. So similarly, as I am healing by worshiping the Lord, by reestablishing my relationship with him, by understanding that there is no lack other than the lack of God consciousness, and that by reawakening our dormant relationship with God, by understanding that we're not this body, that we're pure spirit soul, part and parcel of God, part and parcel of Krishna, and we have to awaken this dormant relationship with him in order to heal, in order to come to our true position of Satchit Ananda, which means eternal bliss, full of bliss and knowledge, and that this is going to be the only solution to what is happening to each one of us. So I invite you, please take a few minutes. Please chant this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 5 or 10 minutes for 2 weeks. Make an experiment for 1 week, 2 weeks. Please invite the Lord into your heart, into your life, into your home. I'm sure so many of you already are doing that and are practicing in so many beautiful ways. And I invite you, please, to, how is it said, level up. My children say level up, of course. And to open your door, open your hearts, open your lives even more so to the presence of the Lord. And he promises that he will protect you, that he will take care of you, that he will provide what you lack and preserve what you have. And we need him so badly right now. We all need him. We all need to understand that the solution to what is happening right now cannot be made on the same level in which it was created, that we have to bring a higher solution to what is happening in order for any results to be there. And that by turning to God, by bringing him very practically into our life every day, this is what is going to bring our individual lives back on track. And this is what is going to turn the world back into a place where it is on the right path, connected to God. We have to plug in. We have to plug in individually in order to receive what God wants to give us. He wants to give us everything because he is our eternal Father and he is our eternal Mother. And he doesn't want to see us suffer. But our eternal position is to serve him. It's to be with him. And until we understand this, until we live life in such a way where we are acting in accordance with his rules, his instructions, his pure representatives' instructions, and we are joyfully chanting his holy names. And there are so many other things that follow this. This is just the beginning. This process is so beautiful, and it involves every single aspect of our life. But until we fully line ourselves up with his will for us, then there's going to be suffering. And this is the only way. This is the only way. This is the only way that we can experience the joy that we are all so very, very deeply searching for, especially right now. Especially right now. So please, in this darkness that we are in right now, see it as the greatest opportunity to open your heart, to open your life, to bring in the spiritual solution, the spiritual science, to begin to very, very deeply reawaken your love for the Lord and help your children to do that. We have to leave this world in a better place for our children. And parents, we know that these children, they mean so much to us. They're the things that mean so much to us. So for them, for them, we have to bring the spiritual solution into our lives in a very practical way, and then begin to teach them and begin to bring them along, because they are going to be the leaders of this world. And boy, I tell you, there is some beautiful, beautiful, beyond what I even understand, events coming if we invite the Lord in. He is there. He is ready. He is 100% ready to give us this, what is called within these scriptures that Srila Prabhupada has given us, which are the law books for the next 10,000 years. The Lord Chaitanya, who is the incarnation in this age of Kali, the most magnificent and kind incarnation that has come to save all of us, to give us shelter. He is ready to bestow upon us the most greatest joy that we can ever experience in every aspect of our life. So please, I invite you, just try, make this experiment, and start chanting the holy names of the Lord. And I very much would like to hear how He is coming into your life more and more, and some of the manifestations of that. Thank you very much for your time, and I will see you in the next video. Hare Krishna.